Hello and welcome to Cake Coach Online, and we're streaming into the Abundant Bakers group and into YouTube all simultaneously. Don't you love technology? So today, I'm from speaking from London, and Kasia Rutkowiak,
Amazing.
thank you, is from speaking from Poland, Warsaw.
Yes.
Yes, Warsaw, right. And we're going to be talking about how important it is to have the right mindset in both life and businesses. One of our favourite topics that me and Kasia could talk about forever. um,
Absolutely.
couldn't we? And we're going to be on for about 30 minutes. And at the end of it, we've got Cassie's got a lovely, fabulous offer for any of you ladies watching. So stay tuned. So welcome, Kasia. And tell us all about having the right mindset. And I'll probably interject in the middle of it as well.
Yeah, please do. And Karen, thank you so much for having me. We've been talking about it for a while about coming here live together and talking about mindset and business and all things related. This is one of my favorite topics, mindset in general in life and business because of the fact that I have gone through so different stages, um, both in my personal life and in my career, and pivoted several times. And one thing, if there is one thing that I've learned, is that it all starts with your thoughts. And it all starts with your beliefs and with the stories that you are telling yourself.
Yeah.
And we, as humans, we tell these stories to ourselves day in and day out. The sad thing is that for the absolute majority of people, and you know that, Karen, you know that so well, the absolute majority of people, they are telling themselves all the wrong things, all the reasons why they cannot have what they want, why they cannot create the business that they are thinking of, why they cannot leave an unfulfilling relationship. And I know a lot about that thought from my own experience, unfortunately, or fortunately, because I'm on the other side right now. Also, we're telling ourselves that we are too little, we're too inexperienced, we don't have the right education, we don't have the right this and that. And this, from where I sit right now, very often it's just complete BS, because the reality is that whatever you tell yourself is going to become your truth. Like Henry Ford said, right? Whether you say that you can or you can't, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The thing with people also is that they hear a wise quote like this one and they say, yeah, yeah, I heard, yeah, you're right. Yeah, but you know what? My life is different. You don't understand really where I am at, and you don't really know my story. And maybe it was possible for you to create the changes. Maybe it was possible for you to pivot in your career. Maybe it was possible for you to leave that unfulfilling relationship. But you don't understand that my life is completely different. And what happens when that happens? Well, you cannot move forward
Yeah. You're
because
stuck.
you're stuck. And the thing is, people say we are stuck. I'm stuck. I feel stuck in life. We are never stuck in life. We're only stuck in our thinking.
Yeah.
And it's about taking the responsibility and saying, okay, I'm here now. And what can I do? About opening your mindset, having that growth mindset, and seeking for opportunities. And when you
Yeah.
don't have the resources, about getting resourceful. It's not about the things you have, but about who you are being in your mind and how you're showing up for yourself. And everybody can learn that.
Yeah.
Everybody can learn that. I see that every single day, women changing their lives
Yeah.
simply through changing the narrative in their heads.
Yeah.
And that's
I agree.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That's exactly where I'm coming from. When well, I had sort of a fair few hiccups along the path of life, as it were. But I got into all of the personal development books, etc. And well, I've got shelves of them now. Life before Kindle, of course. And just focusing on positive and just behaving completely differently, you can really elevate yourself above where other people are, totally, because you're just thinking differently. You're feeding your mind. You're hanging about with people that are like-minded, the same as you are, rather than people that bring you down, and the negative people. I found, I mean, I do know of somebody that was always negative and always got shocking service, just as a, as an example. And she always believed she would get shocking service when she went into the shops. And guess what? She got exactly that, shocking service. And it's like she used to say to me, Karen, how is it you get people like throwing you discounts and giving you this and giving you big smiles? How does that work? It's like, because I go with the feeling of expectation and the fact that I always try and make their day first, with a smile. And normally they end up saying, oh, I have loved chatting to you, have a discount. If it's somebody that I phoned up or whatever, it's like, oh, that's amazing. Just having a positive mindset when you're connecting with other people makes all the difference. And some of these girls, and a lot of the girls that will be watching this, are all in the cake decorating or home baking business. And if you actually have a lovely positive mindset when you're talking to your customers, you're going to get a lot further than just being grumpy with them, because they probably go off to a happy, smiley cake decorator to have their cake designed, rather than somebody that snaps. I'm not saying that people snap at them, but you can imagine if you were in that situation, you wouldn't go to somebody that you didn't actually connect with on a nice level. So you think that, oh, this is a nice person to do business with. So there's an awful lot of thinking of, some of the cake decorators say, oh, I really struggle to get orders, yet somebody maybe just in the next road has got orders coming, like a tsunami of orders. They've got so many orders, they don't know what to do with them. Why is that different? What's one person doing versus the other person?
These are, when you talk about this, I really get reminded that these things are really simple. We would love them to be hard, because them being hard is giving us the excuse of not doing what we fear, of not leaving our comfort zone, of not pushing through that belief that is not serving us. It's just a belief. It's just a story. It's not true.
Yeah.
And stories are my jam. I love explaining to women how what they have been telling themselves throughout their lives is nothing but an adaptation of reality, of a vision that someone else has once seeded in their minds, and how they are allowing those stories to rule whatever they're doing and keep themselves small, and don't allow themselves to expand and to grow. And these ladies, and I hope you watching us, because I want, if you are in the cake decorating business, or that you want to expand, or you want to start, or whatever, like you're on the journey to learning something new business wise. And by the way, what an amazing business that is! What a sweet business that is!
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not from entrepreneurial. Well, I cannot even say it, from entrepreneurial family. And I bet that many of you ladies are not from a background that is connected to business. And maybe you are even hearing from your friends and family like, oh, you mean it? Like, is this even serious? Why wouldn't you keep doing what you're doing? And this is just for fun. And then we allow those stories rule our lives, when in fact we can just sit down and say, okay, how am I being responsible for my dream? What do I need to tell myself? What do I want to tell myself in order to make that shift, to create that business, to move forward? Whom can I learn from? Who's the
Yeah.
person that is a little bit ahead of me? Because I love jealousy. Jealousy is an amazing teacher. And whenever I personally get jealous of someone else having something I don't have, creating something I have not created yet, and that is regardless if this is a physical thing or if it's business or relationship wise, it doesn't matter.
Mm.
Whenever you feel a little like this jealousy sting, you can just stop, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what is this telling you?
Yeah.
Because so often in life we know that what we don't want, but we don't know what we want. If someone asks you, what is it that you really want? People have problem with that.
Yeah.
So when you get jealous, this is your mind somewhere there deep inside telling you, oh my gosh, I would love to have
Maybe
that.
something. Yeah.
And then there is a great distinction. The majority of people, and like not 60% majority, like 90+% majority of people will go the route like, oh, I hate her. Like, how can she have this business? She has not even gone to a business school. It shouldn't be allowed. Like, what is she doing?
It's not fair. Yeah.
And people and they get mad and disappointed, and they go in, like, they start hating and not,
Mm.
they feel bad with themselves.
Yeah.
But a few people, and I do hope that you are the few people here, will say, okay, what is this
Mm.
telling me? What questions do I need to ask myself in order to get there? What
Yeah.
can I learn from them? How can I ask for help? Where can I get help? Because for me, seeing someone having something or doing something, achieving something, is just a proof that it's possible.
Mm.
And so I can choose to tell myself it's never going to be possible for me, or I can say, well, of
Not.
course it will be possible for me.
Yeah.
How can I do this?
Yeah.
And get
Absolutely.
resourceful and get at cause, because we don't like to be responsible for our lives. So often we love complaining. We love saying, oh, this feels uncomfortable. I'm in such a difficult situation.
Yeah.
Everything is hard. Well, okay, but what can you do? And what can you do is not about control, because people also get it wrong. Like, if I get to control everything and everyone, then I will be safe and everything will be great. And
Mm.
it's not true,
Mm.
because the only person you can control is yourself.
Yeah.
And that's great. And that's amazing. Because you can always ask yourself, how can I change the attitude towards this thing that is triggering me, that is challenging me, that is making me feel all those feelings,
Mm.
so that I can learn something new,
Yeah.
so that I can grow, so that I can expand and move forward.
So how would you, if somebody was coming to you and saying, "Oh, I've got a whole list of things in my life," I did hear a great way of actually rattling through this list. If you had a A4 sheet of paper and put a line down the middle of it, and you put all of the things on one side, I don't like this, and I don't like that, and I don't like that, and it could be, oh, I'm not keen on my relationship at the moment. I don't like my job. I don't like this. I don't like where I'm living. I don't like where I go on holiday. Whatever it is, I don't like the state of my finances. Basically, the right hand side of the page, which is currently blank, is giving you completely the the torch that's shining on what you should be doing to improve the things that you wrote down on the left hand side of the page that you don't like about your whole life. And you can start
Mm-hmm.
picking them off bit by bit. It's like, well, how can I improve this bit? Because when I was doing my life coaching, we did the wheel of life and all the rest of it. You've got what 8 segments of life, and certain bits of it will be fine, and other bits will be not so good, etc., etc. So, I always, when I'm talking to my clients, is getting them to actually identify what is wrong or what they feel is wrong. It might not be wrong, it's just what they feel about it. What is wrong in each segment of that circle, and what could they actually physically do about it? Because there's lots of things you can do about every single, relationship or situation that you find yourself in. Is, there's no point just shrugging and saying there's nothing I can do, because that's not actually true.
No.
Both you and I have proved that.
No, it's not true.
No.
Well, it's an amazing question, and a question that the getting the answer to this question is really helping people transform their lives from the inside out. And whenever you are in a situation in life, whether it's your relationship, your financial situation, your business, your family, whatever is not working, just ask yourself what thoughts, what beliefs have brought you to where you are. Let's take it this. We all have areas of life where we are doing good. Hopefully, the more, like, majority of the areas of life are we're great at, right? So take one area of life where you are doing great and try to list your beliefs about this area of life and about you in it. Because I can assure you that the beliefs you have around yourself and this particular area of life are supporting you in achieving of what you want. And this is why you have it.
Yeah.
Because you have the beliefs that allow you to go and get it.
Yeah.
Whereas in all areas of life, people tell me, like, how do I know what my subconscious beliefs are? And I say, well, go look at your freaking life.
Yeah.
It is so simple. And again, we want it to be complicated, but it's not. And it's an amazing news. Yeah. People also are a little bit scared of figuring out their subconscious beliefs, because then they think, oh, then like it's uncomfortable when they get hit with this, when they finally get it, that they have been sabotaging their own happiness for such a long time.
Yeah.
Whereas I always say, you know what? Buy a bottle of champagne. Because you uncovering that belief is your first, but the most important step to shifting it. You cannot change what you're not aware of.
Yeah.
So whenever there's an area of life that is not going great, sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what beliefs do I have? What are the thoughts that I'm entertaining day in and day out that are not serving me?
Yeah.
And also and I talk about it a lot in my, because this is life-changing for everyone that gets it. And the fun part is when some people who really want to hear it and who really want to open up their minds to the message, they change their lives in a matter of weeks and months. The things that they were stuck in, the thinking that they were stuck in for years, they finally get this aha moment saying, like, okay, what if the thing that I was telling myself is not true at all?
No.
What if it's what if I could just play this game? Because let's face it, if what you believe, let's take business. There are for sure people in the group that believe that business is difficult.
Yeah.
That it's hard, that it's challenging, that it's a lot of work, that it's a lot of sacrifice. Well, is it? Because there are people also that believe that business is fun, that there is always enough for everyone,
Yep.
that there's enough money. Money is everywhere. Opportunities are everywhere.
Yeah.
And which is true.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, and you know, Karen, that whatever you tell yourself is true, because
Yeah.
those two groups of people will create two different results.
Yeah.
People
I know.
who believe that business is hard, they will be, I cannot do this. This is going to be too difficult. I don't have time for this. I'm not there just yet. And I just need to take another course. I need to spend some more time learning. I, whereas other people are going to say, like, okay, what do we do? Where do we start?
Yeah. Just as an example, I've got a friend who would never ever go into town using their car.
Mhm.
Right, this is not a business example. This is just like an everyday example. Yeah, I said, "Oh, if I'm going into town, I'm taking my car." She, why would you do that? You'll never find a parking space. I'm like, I always find a parking space. That's my belief. I always
Me
find a
too.
parking space, right? And I'd say to her, yeah, I got into town and I actually parked right next to where you pay the money, if you're going to pay the money or you do pay by phone or whatever. She said, I just can't believe that you've got a parking space. It's like, but I believed that I was going to get one. You have to go on the bus because you don't believe that there's anything there for you, but I get one every single time without fail. How does that work? It's like,
Yeah.
do you end up going, oh, you were just lucky? It's like, no, it doesn't work that many times. It seriously doesn't.
No, and that opens a whole new chapter of conversation that I'm also like a huge fan of, the law
Yeah,
of attraction and the universal
yeah,
energy,
yeah,
and how our surroundings and people and places and everything, the energy, how we are receiving what we are sending out.
yeah,
And people say, well, it doesn't work for me. Yes, well, it does. The very proof that you don't have it, it means that it works for you. It's like
yes,
universal law. It's like
yeah,
you
yeah,
would say gravity doesn't work for me. Like, how is that possible?
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly,
So, so
totally,
yeah. And then again, it's how is that belief helping you?
yeah,
Really? Ask
yeah,
yourself, this is for many people an uncomfortable question, but
mm,
only until the moment where they realize that they either they get a cause for their life and get responsible and do the work. And it's
yeah,
not like working in a mine, seriously. And so they can either get responsible and say, great, I am where I am. This is not, I cannot change that.
yeah,
I cannot change the fact that I'm here. But how I'm gonna think from now on will determine where I'm gonna go. So
yeah,
knowing what I know now, how can I become more responsible for what's going on?
yeah. And
And
don't
mm,
what I was going to say, don't you think that where you are now, if you sort of look back to where you came from, I believe that the things that have happened to you in the past is almost like just preparing you for almost helping others go through the same journey that you've just come across. That's the way I look at the things that happened in the past.
up,
So how can
yeah,
I inspire and help other people to cope with what I went through in the past and move forward? Because I just read so many personal development books. It was like mad, really, but that's what I did. And
that's thank you for asking that, because
mm,
to everyone listening, watching, I have not been that smart all my life, far from, and not as responsible for my life. Um, and this is exactly why I do what I do and why I love it so much.
mm,
I have spent, well, I'm in my third marriage. The first one was rather fast, very unpleasant, but luckily very fast. And the second one, I entered for all the wrong reasons. Again, I wasn't being responsible for what was happening. I didn't want to hear my internal voices telling me that that might not be the good idea. I wanted safety. after some turbulent times, and I wanted a family. But that turned out that just having kids, even with the nicest person, if the person is not for you, is not going to make you happy.
Yeah.
And that was a very hard lesson. It was hard, rather challenging from the beginning, but even more challenging when I finally met that person that I felt that we could be happy and I could be happy, like really happy, not
Yeah.
half-ass happy, not pretending to be happy, not making myself look happy in front of other people, but really happy with myself.
Yeah.
Well, then I just figured out that would be too late for me because now I'm in this second marriage. We have small kids, and who am I to think that the third one is going to be good and I'm not being responsible? And I was telling myself all the things that would prove that me being happy is not going to be possible.
Yeah.
So to make this very quick, well, it lasted for 6 years and I was living a very unhappy life. Everyone on the outside, they thought it was great, but it was this golden cage
Yeah.
until I went through a breakdown, until I really didn't know if I want to move on or not.
Mm.
And I decided in that very dark moment that if I am to live, if I'm not going to swallow those pills that are just waiting on the bedside
Mm-mm.
table, then I'm going to be freaking living my life the way I want to, because it's not worth the other way,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And I did that. Well, when I decided to go out of that marriage and take the three small kids to another country, and start from scratch, start something new, I also pivoted in my career. I used to be a veterinarian. I was working with big and small animals on a beautiful
Oh
Danish
wow, I
island,
didn't know that.
and I was loving it. But
Yeah.
I got another opportunity and I pivoted like big time. I became blogger, photographer, stylist, and working with the best Scandinavian brands outside of Scandinavia. And my pictures were published all over the world. And funny thing is, it took me 6 years to go from a very unfulfilling marriage where I was feeling very truly, like, really unhappy.
Mm.
Like with my every cell, I was crying myself to sleep every single night.
Yeah.
And yet I was telling myself that I cannot be happy because the list was, the list that you just said. It was a very freaking long list.
Yeah.
And, but when opportunity arrived for me to presented itself to go from one career to another, I just did it like blink of an eye.
Mm.
And that brought me to thinking, how is it possible? And I'm going to ask everyone listening to me talking right now. I'm almost done. I got me to thinking, how is this possible that in some areas of life, it's the change is easy and smooth and possible
Mm.
and natural, and in others, it's just constant struggle.
Mm.
And that, of course, brought me to what we've already been talking about, that it depends on what you believe. It depends what you're
Yeah.
telling yourself. What we just
Yeah.
started this conversation from the thoughts that you're entertaining in your head.
Yeah.
Obviously, the beliefs I had about career were making it easy and achievable for me to just go like this.
Yeah.
Whereas the all my beliefs about subconscious beliefs about family and responsibility and kids and divorce, all that were not allowing me to make this step. And
Move.
this is
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
And also many women that got to hear my story, and whether it was personal, professional, or both, they would come to me and they would say, you know what, Kasia, I so much admire you for doing that. I just couldn't do it. What you did
Mm.
was amazing. I wish I could do that too. And I always had this sense of sadness. I was so sad because the truth is, I know how it feels. I know how it feels to see someone else going after their dream and you sitting there saying, it's never going to be possible for me. This business, I will never start it. This
Yeah.
new thing, it's not for me. It's not in my cards. What the fuck is not in my cards?
Yeah.
We say this to ourselves, and it's like,
Yeah.
then we're doomed. Then it's
Yeah.
game over.
Yeah.
How about we go and lie ourselves down and die?
Yeah. Yeah. The famous saying is, "Oh, it's all right for you." And fill
Yeah.
in the gap because, and it's like, not really. No.
Yeah. So, and I would also say back then in my old life, I would also say or think to myself, like, it's easy for her to say,
Mm.
or her life, her situation is different.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not
Yeah.
different.
It's not.
I'm sorry. It's the plain truth. It's not different.
It's not different.
When you create from your circumstance, you will
Mm.
always repeat your circumstance.
Yeah.
And believing that if I only have more time, money, courage, whatever,
Yeah.
then I can do blah 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 and then I can be happy. Well, you're never going to get more of that.
Yeah.
So rather
It's the
start
classic.
creating from the
Yeah.
place of being.
It's the classic. I'll be happy if only, and then fill in the blank, isn't it? It's like, well, actually, if you're happy and grateful for what you've got right now, weirdly enough, you get more of what you're happy and grateful for, because thoughts become things. It's just the way
Yes,
of the
they
world, and a
do.
lot of people don't, because they haven't read the books that you and I have read, and been in the circumstances you and I have read. They don't know that, and it's quite
Yeah.
it's weird when you look at other people and think that you don't know all the stuff that I've read about, and I can tell you, which I will, when you come back and talk to us in the cake circle. I will talk about my creative visualization journey, etc., which was amazing. But I only knew how to do that because I put myself in the bookshop in the personal development area, etc. But you have got something amazing that you want to tell our listeners about, haven't you?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. Because if this is what I've been talking about, if it resonates with you, if this is something you would like to explore a little more, and even more so, if you are a person, a woman, granted, that could use more self confidence, whether it's in life or business, and learn how to shift those stories that you've been telling yourself about why you cannot just do the things that you want because you don't have that feeling that you can, then I am in a few days I am opening up for the first time my very special, very new coaching 4-week coaching program on self-confidence for women. And it is going to be free. Actually, I was thinking about it a lot, and I'm so pumped up. This is like my dream come true, being able
Mm.
to do what I do. So I decided the very first time I do it, I want to give everyone, literally everyone that wants the opportunity to shift their beliefs around
Mm.
themselves and start showing up as the person that they want to be unapologetically, and also stop people pleasing. And people pleasing, you might ask, how does it relate to business? Well, it's very simple. We often just do what we're expected to do by our husbands, partners, children, parents, doing the right thing, the what society perceives our background and people that we are, around, that are
Yeah.
around us.
Yeah.
So if we only are, for instance, right, like here, The baking business people are only on Facebook, but in our real life, no one has ever created a business on their own based on a sweet dream. Let's get
Yeah.
serious. And we
Yeah.
hear that, oh, you must be crazy. Oh, this is not going to be such a great, beautiful, sweet failure. Oh, aren't you too old for that? Oh, or do you really think that with your, maybe you are over, maybe qualified, maybe you have like this, I don't know what degree, and you now want to go into cake business, and like, really? So,
Yeah.
and then we don't want to be judged. So we're not going to be authentic. We're going to just take this dream and put it away for later, for some time, and time is going to pass.
Yeah.
And if we don't have the confidence to say, you know what? Sorry, but fuck it. No, this is my life. Either and I want this. You might understand it. That's great. You might not understand it, and that's great too. But it's not going to determine how I'm going to show up in my life.
Yeah.
So that relates to business, that relates to relationships, that relates to everything. And I guess we can put the link in your group for every single woman that wants to take the opportunity and join this
Yep.
4-week mindset
Yep.
course on self-confidence. You are so invited.
Oh, how exciting for people. That's brilliant. What I'll do is put the link under the video in the groups, so that that's probably easiest, isn't it? So then people can see the link and click on it, which would be fabulous, because we really want people, we want our cake decorators and our bakers to have more self-confidence, not only just in their baking businesses, but just in real life, just in relationships with their children. And if they work elsewhere and they're doing baking business on the side, it's just having enough confidence to just be.
Yeah, we want them to be proud of that, right? To tell people, not to say, oh, in my free time, I sometimes, no, just go out there, be proud, be happy, share it. You never know who's going to hear it. You never know who's going to cross your path in the right moment. But if you don't have the self-confidence, if you don't have this inner knowing that it's okay to be you and have your dream, and people don't have to agree, they can judge. Well, they're judging you already for the things that you don't like doing, so they might just as well judge you for the things you love. And I mean, how complicated is that? But for where I am and where you are, Karen, these are simple things. And this is why I am so grateful to you for allowing me to share the message, because
you're very welcome.
It's so important.
Yeah, and I thoroughly agree with you too as well. And I know that you're going to come back and talk to our Cake Circle members at another time as well, because we've got so much to discuss about things that do relate to business, but nobody's actually really considered, like, as we've said, the law of attraction. Some people go, what? Why is the law of attraction? It's like, well, it works.
Well, you have been ruling your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me have the link, and I shall put it in below the video, and people will watch it on replay as well, and let Kasia know that you want to be involved. And so it's 4 weeks, 4 whole weeks of talking about your self-confidence.
And it's not going to be like it's going to be like full-blown course. It's not going to be any like rah and just no, it's something that only once this time. It's going to be completely free, and anyone who jumps along, I will do my very best to make you feel a lot better about yourself in a month. How amazing is that?
Yeah, what a brilliant offer. Fabulous. Well, thanks ever so much for coming to talk to us tonight, all the way from Poland. That is brilliant. And we shall see you soon in the Cake Circle
Yes.
as well. And that's it. So
Thank you so much for
thanks
having me.
yeah, thanks ever so much. It's been a joy and a pleasure.
Thank you.